You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Feed.
This your co-host, Cole and Moore. You know we loving life and enjoying football.
Top-notch coaches all around the world. Top-notch coaches all around the world. Today we got a very special guest on by the name of Tyrone McGriff, the head coach at Leon High School, baby, them Lions. And he's doing major things, man. This is not our first time having him on the Life in Football camera. We actually had him on the Life in Football camera when he was the athletic director over there at Florida High, which is Florida State University School. But, man, this man is doing big things. He actually almost like a living legend in Tallahassee, man. And I was looking in the newspaper about a month ago, 2 months. They had something in the Democrat where I seen a Tyrone McGriff, but I guess that's your dad. Yeah. That played at FAMU, was a legend over there. And read a lot of good things, saw some good information. I said, oh, man, this got to be Mr. McGriff dad. Got the same name. And it's amazing to know that, hey, his dad was a legend. Now he out here putting it down. He becoming a legend himself. So, hey, that McGriff family, y'all doing y'all thing, man. And then he over there with them Leon lines, that red and white. And he finna get it right, baby. But without further ado, I'm going to let C-Mo bring him on.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing all right, man. How's it going?
Good, man. It's a blessing to have you on, man.
Man, I'm blessed to be here.
So I want to know, because we seen you at Florida High, and now you the main man yourself. And then that was a good program, which I don't know the other programs you done been around, but that was a good program to learn a whole lot and bring it to your program. Right. So what actually led you to become, like, go and put your name in the hat and say, let me get this head coaching job and turn this program around?
I think the opportunity to build something. I like building stuff. Like, ever since I was a kid, I used to always like building stuff. Yeah. Right? And so my dad used to always give me Legos and then little construction sets and all that stuff like that. So I always like building. When I was a kid, I used to want to be like an engineer, an architect. And then I got into football, right? Got into sports and really kind of got sidetracked. But the creativity to see something that nobody else sees. Yeah. And then building, that's what, that's kind of what we did at Florida High with the whole athletic department. Florida High has always had a sound program. But, when I took over as the athletic director, I wanted to build something very special. Yeah. And so we had, I actually outlined the full 5-year plan for the athletic department. Right. And, I did that my first month, and everything that I put down that we wanted to do, whether it was financial goals, competitive goals, or just getting coaches on campus and actually presenting to my director on how to get more coaches on campus, I knew there was a certain way that we need to build it. And so having taken over a program that's been down for so long and trying to figure out how to build it back up. And there's so many different things that you got to balance, to build it up. So that was really what attracted me to the program.
I like that. So you already locked in. Like, I already know before you even took the job, you probably checked it out and say, well, hold on, we do this, and this, and this, we can get there. So now that you are there and you in the process, now you finna go through everything leading up to the season. What is your main focus with the kids right now and the players? Like, what are you preaching to them? Well, not preaching, but telling them daily so they can be at a certain level once the season starts? It's
all a process. Like, ain't nothing gonna be built overnight. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to build a program. Right. And so, like, once you build a program, it don't matter whether you're there or not.
Yeah, roll.
Once you leave, he's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build a program.
Yeah.
And a part of that, there's some certain benchmarks that we gotta hit that don't have nothing to do with playing the game. It's like the top football programs in the state have usually there's a correlation between speed on the track and speed on the football field.
Right.
So you got 4x1 team. So we do have a good 4x1 team at our school. Unfortunately, we dropped the time at regionals, but so we got the speed aspect.
Yeah.
Then there's a strength aspect. Yeah. And so you got functional strength, which is like you grab me, you feel it.
Yeah.
Right? Then you got that weight room strength. And usually, if you're functionally strong, it's easy to get strong in the weight room.
Right.
So we gotta get strong, and then it's gonna take us about 2 or 3 years to build a competitive weightlifting team. Because it's hard to run through somebody's mouth that it hurt when you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But when you can run through it,
Yeah.
and it don't hurt,
Yeah.
because you just that much bigger and stronger,
Right.
faster, then it's easy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So those are some of the benchmarks that we got to hit first, and we got to build that up. So the springs is extremely important.
Yeah.
We're not where we need to be in the weight room yet, and to tell you the truth, like I want to support my track coach, Coach Jones, Coach Wendell, because when the track program is doing their thing in the 100, 200, 400, 4x1, 4x4, everything else falls in line.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would.
Now, Coach, I want to know a little bit about your family and how it was for you growing up. Because when I saw that in the newspaper, like I said, it came to my mind like, Tyrone McGriff, hold on. His dad was a legend like that film you? So I want to know a little bit more about that and, how it was for you growing up.
My dad was a dog, man. Like, I know a lot of people say, like when I say like my dad bred me and my sister a little bit different. You know what I mean? Even my wife talk about, she was like, because we weren't, we were a middle class family. You know what I mean? One like we were struggling and stuff like that. But then when I started talking about my upbringing, she like, man, you talk like you was just raised like, and I was like, nah, that's just how they raised. Like, that's how they
work
raised.
for it.
Like, man, when I say you made, like my dad was different. You know what I mean? And he made sure I understood, what it meant to be a dog.
Right.
I remember being we spent most of my life in South Florida. So he kept me out of football until he was going to keep me out until I got in the 9th grade.
Right.
Because his exact words to me were like, football's a man's sport.
Right.
It's not a sport for little boys.
Yeah.
And I don't feel comfortable sending you out there to hurt yourself and hurt other kids as a kid.
Right.
He said, so when you start playing, you need to have no remorse when you hurt somebody else. Because I don't. And I never did.
Yeah.
So you can't tell a little kid that.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? Like you really can't. But that's how I was raised. So like if you knock them out, don't check them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because it's a gladiator sport. You can't tell a kid that because that's not sportsmanlike.
Right.
That's not. But really, when you start thinking about it, football is a sport where you have to impose your will on another grown man.
Yeah.
And if you don't enjoy imposing your will on another man, then it's not the sport for you.
Right.
And a lot of times there are some social aspects to playing the sport the way it's supposed to be played that people can't fully understand. So he raised me like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I played it. You know what I mean? And so, and my sister, she was All-American and shot and disc in high school, and she was a beast in the weight room. He trained her. Even now to this day, I show my coaches, I show my team. I was talking jump with my sister. She did like 185 10 times on bench.
Out there getting it.
Yeah, like we all kind of different, but we were bred like that. Like he pushed us, and that's how.
What did he play?
He played offensive guard.
Oh, okay. So he used to smashing them.
Yeah. He played offensive guard in high school. He did track. He played D tackle. Played offensive line in college. He started on offensive line, and then in goal line situations, he played offensive guard. That's one thing Coach Hubbard said was he was the best all-around football player on the team, which is usually you don't get that title as an offensive lineman, but he was kind of freakishly athletic, really strong, really aggressive, and even when I talked to his teammates, that played with him in the league, you know, he had a chip on his shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
And when he went to Pittsburgh, you know, people don't know he was the first Mr. Irrelevant to make the NFL All-Rookie team. I don't think it's happened since he did it.
It probably happened.
But that's, like I said, you gotta be built a little bit different mentally to kind of take on tasks that other people think can't be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, even with him getting drafted out of FAMU, you know, back then that was like a normal thing for players getting drafted out of HBCU.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I want to know a little bit more about you. Like, where you played your high school ball? Did you go to college? Like, for as like, how was your athletic career?
Yeah. So, like, of course, like my dad, you know, he raised us tough. So I'm the younger of the two of us. My sister was, like I said, she was a top shot putting discus thrower in high school coming out. Matter of fact, she went her senior year never losing in shot put until the state meeting. She didn't lose, she tied, so she got second.
Yeah.
And so I was in her footsteps. I didn't get stronger than her until, and I've been pretty strong my whole life too, but I didn't pass her in terms of in the weight room until my junior year in high school.
And she was getting it.
Yeah, my sister, she was, she did, and it's funny, so when I was in the 9th grade then, and I had switched over. We went to the same school for a little bit, and then my cousin was the head coach at Sebastian, so I left Vero and went to Sebastian, and my sister was still at Vero, and my dad used to take her in there before he passed away, and he'd take her in there with football players. You know, football players like going in the weight room and stuff, and he came home, and they were talking. She felt bad because when the football players were in there, everybody used to just put up their weight.
Yeah.
And they'll leave because she was embarrassing everybody.
Yeah.
And my dad had to tell her, like, hey, yo, like, you don't worry about it. You
right.
don't worry. Because she was benching, she benched 250 and she squatted over 450.
Oh, she getting it.
Yeah, so she was the one that that was my immediate competition.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I gotta, cause she taught jump, like she always taught jump, so I gotta be better. You know what I'm saying? So I spent my high school career trying to
catch up.
Yeah, just I can't have a sister. That's
I do it. Yeah.
So that's that's kind of, and then like I said, I think a lot of what I was able to achieve in high school. I was top 100 football, one of the top 100 football players in the state. And at that time, I was pretty good. I was a track and football athlete. Played most of the positions in football, but that was just, I think I was just hungry. And then after my dad passed away in my 9th grade year. Sorry to hear that. And it's okay. That academically I got off track, but athletically I never blinked. You get what I'm saying? And even when I say off track, I still wasn't the best student. But when he passed away, I was like a 3.4, 3.5. I graduated like a 3.0. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of got off track, but I was really focused to make sure that I upheld like my end of the bar. Right. Don't drop, like, your name will go. Yeah. You can't mess your name up, man. Right. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever mess your name up. I don't care what people offer you money. You don't mess up your name, and that's one thing that my dad and my old coach Wilson, Billy Wilson, down in Vero always told me, like, your name will go worth gold. Don't mess it up. So that's what I tried to do.
Where you went to college at?
So when I was coming out, I had like a lot of what we call Group of 5 offers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
FCS offers. I didn't have like any of the big 3, which was Miami, Florida State. Right.
And that's what we all want.
Right there. Back then, it wasn't like now where you were leaving the state of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't leaving the state of Florida to go. Yeah. So I didn't have the big 3, but I had a lot of other offers and stuff. And at that time, Coach Billy Joe was at FAM. And I don't know if y'all remember, in 2004, FAM, announced that they were like
D1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was a part of that signing class. Yeah. Me and a few others that were really talented. Yeah. So I went the FAM, and I ended up starting for 4 years at FAM. And after I made 1 year All-American, All-Conference, and all conference multiple years, All American 1 year, but had some injuries, and then just didn't do what I needed to do to stay healthy, and didn't do what I needed to do to keep growing as a football player.
Right.
And ended up playing arena football. Hey, yo, I'll tell you this, man. Arena football, anybody play? Like, y'all didn't play?
No, I saw it. It looked hard.
I actually had a contract too, signed with the arena team, but I didn't go. With Montana, Billings, Montana Billings, yep.
Yeah, man. Hey, yo, arena football, that's different, dog. That's different, man. Like, it's fun for receivers, DBs, and quarterbacks.
Everybody else,
man, it's just like because the game's so different, you know. I'm out there trying to go sideline to sideline, well, you know that thing like this big.
Yeah.
So, and I tell you what, somebody told me right before that, like, hey, yo, wait till you hit that wall. Wait till you hit that wall. And I was like, man.
I done heard them talk about that now. Yeah, hitting the wall.
It hurt. It hurt different, man.
Yeah.
You hit that wall, like when you going over the wall is okay,
but hitting
the wall and like.
Smash.
Yeah, man. You just, man, that thing have you walking back to the huddle.
Yeah,
man. But it's just different, you know. And I learned a lot though, and you know that track, you know, and I kudos to like the USFL and XFL and stuff that's now in place now. You know, we didn't have that when I was coming out. So it's either NFL or you can play arena football.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then all these other leagues just always like win. So, you know, football is a different type of sport because it is not a lifelong sport. A lot of people don't realize that.
Right.
It is a young man's sport.
Right.
You have a very short career. Even when you do make it to the highest level.
Right.
Your career is very short. So you better learn how to persevere, how to manage your time, how to do those things while you're playing it, because it ain't basketball though. Like football is not, your body can't sustain. And a lot of people don't understand.
They don't.
You know, it's you know, gladiators can only fight for so long, man.
Yeah, they got tap back.
You know, nobody retires a gladiator.
Yes, sir. Now, actually, one of my teammates from high school, I had already graduated. He signed with fam that year, named Mickey Baker. He ended up signing that year.
Mick never came though.
Yeah, he did.
He went JUCO. He went to Akron or something.
No, you know, he sure enough did.
Yeah, man. That's what I said. Like we had that Sonic.
Y'all did have a good
sign. He was the defensive player of the year, Ryan.
Yeah, he was. He was.
As a matter of fact, Coach Rodney Gallen, who's coaching with me now.
Oh, okay.
All of us were.
Oh, yeah, because he ended up playing that song. Yeah, he played Florida State, didn't he?
Florida State, but he stayed at Florida State, I believe. But we were all out there, all Big Ben pitchers, right? And at that time, Florida High wasn't the Florida High like it is.
Yeah.
So I was out there taking pictures, and I told him, man, I kept this in, and so him and Mickey were having a side conversation about who could hit hard, and I was just listening. Listening. And they were like, yeah, it's all me and you who the hardest is. And I was listening. I was like, oh, they just don't know. And I was listening, and I was waiting. They were joking, but I was waiting for them to say line it up and go. Because, you know, when you back then, you take your all Big Ben pictures.
Yeah, with all your stuff on.
And I was sitting there, I didn't say nothing. I was waiting for them to say, let's line up. Because I was about to do it. I was about to hey, I was just sitting there listening. And I told them, I was like, dog, I was really.
Waiting on it.
I ain't said nothing the whole time. Because I just felt disrespected.
Yeah. And you're right, Rodney, he did stay at Florida State because he played linebacker. Yeah. So, Coach, this is my last thing. Talk about what's your goals for Leon. Like, what's the things you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing, like I said, we got to get bigger. Right now, you know, size is usually genetic, right? And size, when I look at size, I'm looking at height and body frame. Where, you know, those body frames don't currently exist on our team for the trenches. So the most important thing that we have to do is just build up thickness in the weight room.
Right.
So the weight room has to be a part of our identity, because that's toughness and that's consistency to come every day. And then you gotta get mad at an inanimate object, like something that can't move. right? And then that's a controlled rage. Like you see guys that really like get it in the weight room. Like you can tell their mentality changes. And if your mentality can change in the weight room every day and you love doing that and you start lifting with aggression, like I don't need no people to lift like they're cute. You know what I mean? I want people to kind of get you walk in the weight room. I need you to get uncomfortable that you're in the weight room.
Right.
So that's the first goal, is to put a premium on the weight room. You know, and I think Rodney, with his experience in training and stuff, because he's been doing it at Chaos and stuff like that, and then my assistant coach Steve Grimes, who's been a part of the Leon weight room off-season program in the past, and we had to get him back reintroduced to that, and then myself really putting a premium there. And then, like I said, speed.
Yeah.
So,
track.
Yeah, but those two things come with consistency. You know what I mean? So we gotta be consistent. I think everybody wants to hear like, "Hey, wins. Who we gonna beat?" Like I ain't really into all that. You get what I'm saying? Because all those wins and losses, that's all like it's too like subjective. Because I can go and get a whole bunch of wins versus like 1-4, 1-9, 1-8. That doesn't mean nothing. You hear what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to actually build a product, you gotta do it the hard way.
Right.
That's why I tell my kids, we gotta do everything the hard way.
Right.
Don't do nothing in life the easy way. You gotta do it the hard way. So that's the first step. And then when we can increase our depth over time, I think our depth is an issue right now because we're young. This is going to be my second year in the program. Yeah. We've had some attrition from before I got there, and then some attrition from just understanding what my standard is.
Right.
So now that's two waves. That's all the kids that left before I got there, and then all the kids that left once they realized, oh, this is for real.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you got two ways of attrition that happens, and then now you get everybody understanding, okay, this is what he expects. And like, our kids and even the other kids on campus that aren't affiliated with the football program, they kind of understand my standards. So they kind of jokingly always say, yo, he ain't no dog.
Yeah,
he ain't no dog, because, if you're not a dog, I can't really do nothing with you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, man, that's Coach right there, the head coach of Leon. And I'm telling y'all, man, Coach McGriff, he's putting together something special over there at Leon. And Leon, for y'all who don't know, they got a lot of good things on a nice new turf field, beautiful. They got the shed over there. They call it the shed with the weight room. I think y'all got the indoor turf over there, no?
So I pulled all the turf. So the turf is just upstairs. We got rubber floor. I redid all the weight rooms.
Okay.
Like now it's just weight room. We do agility. We do everything.
Okay.
I will tell you this: the only team in town that has a better facility than us is Florida State.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was.
I ain't even close, dog.
Yeah, y'all got it laid out.
Man, you come over there.
I already want to come.
Yeah.
It's right down the street.
Yeah.
I promise you, if you don't go back talking about it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we might have to do that, man.
Yeah.
We might have to check you out.
Yeah, you gotta check it out, man.
Yeah.
Kind of see it, man. It's nice.
Yeah.
Cause one thing too, before I go, I gotta give a shout out. This guy I know, and he a friend to me too. And he a big alumni donator. He loved Leon football. You know what I'm talking about? Mr. John Howard.
Yeah.
See that? He already know what I'm talking about. Mr. Howard, man. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Howard, man. He loved Leon football. I'm talking about he had the practices, he had the game. Even when I talked to him, that's what he talking about, Leon high school football. He loved, ever since I first met him a long time ago, he loved that Leon football. And he'll give his whole retirement check to make him good. But I'm going to leave y'all how I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. This is a Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.